Indecision is not polite. It is a transfer of stress onto the other person. You have been conditioned to believe that asking, "What do you want to do?" is a sign of consideration. You think you are being a modern, accommodating man who respects his partner's autonomy. You believe you are being nice. In reality, you are being lazy. When you abdicate the responsibility of choice, you are not offering freedom. You are handing over a burden. Every decision, no matter how trivial, costs biological energy. By refusing to lead, you force the people around you to spend their mental reserves on things you should have already handled. Most men view leadership as a privilege or a badge of honor. They want the title of head of household or leader without doing the actual work that the title requires. Leadership is not about barking orders or controlling every movement. Leadership is a service. It is the act of absorbing uncertainty so that others can relax. When you look at your partner and say, "I don't know, whatever you want," you are essentially saying, "I am not competent enough to chart a course for the next 2 hours." You are signaling that you are a passenger in your own life, and passengers do not inspire desire. They inspire management. To understand why this dynamic kills attraction so instantly, we must look at the concept of decision fatigue. The human brain has a finite amount of willpower and executive function each day. Every time you have to choose between two options, weigh pros and cons, or make a plan, you deplete this reserve. This is cognitive load theory. By the end of a long day, decision fatigue sets in. The brain becomes desperate to avoid making any more choices. It craves a path of least resistance. It craves a leader. When a woman comes to you after navigating her own complex day, her decision reserves are likely empty. She does not want to decide where to eat.
She does not want to decide what movie to watch. She does not want to plan the logistics of the weekend. She wants to rest in her feminine energy, which is receptive and flowing. But she cannot flow if there is no riverbed. You are the riverbed. You provide the structure. When you fail to provide that structure, you force her into her masculine energy. You force her to become the planner, the manager, the decisive force. She has to step up because you stepped down. And in that moment, polarity dies. This is not about being a tyrant. There is a massive difference between controlling someone and leading them. A tyrant says, "You must do this." A leader says, "Let's do this." A tyrant restricts freedom. A leader offers a path. When you lead effectively, you are actually creating more freedom for your partner because you are freeing her mind from the drudgery of logistics. You are giving her the gift of mental clarity. You are taking the weight of the what and the how so she can simply enjoy the now. The most common symptom of weak leadership is the use of what I call taboo phrases. These are the verbal tics of a man who is afraid to be wrong. "I don't know. It's up to you. Whatever makes you happy. I'm fine with anything." These phrases sound agreeable, but they are actually defensive. You use them because you don't want to be blamed if the movie is bad or the restaurant is crowded. You are hedging your bets. You are protecting your ego at the expense of your status. A high-value man is willing to take the risk of a bad decision rather than make no decision at all. You must adopt the default plan method. This is a simple rule that will transform your interactions overnight. Never enter a situation without a default plan of action. If you are suggesting a date, have a specific place and time in mind before you open your mouth.
If you are asking about dinner, have a suggestion ready. You can always be flexible. You can always say, "I was thinking we go to that Italian place at 7, unless you're craving something else." This gives her the option to veto, but it does not force her to create.
It is easier to steer a moving car than to push a stalled one. Be the engine that gets the car moving. This applies to everything from small daily interactions to major life choices. If there is a problem in the relationship, do not just bring it up and wait for her to solve it. Come with a proposed solution. I've noticed we're disconnected lately. I think we should schedule a no phones night this Thursday. That is leadership. Why are we always fighting? Is just complaining. One offers a direction, the other just points at the mud. The man who points at the mud expects someone else to build the bridge. The man who builds the bridge is the one who gets followed. You might argue that you don't want to be controlling or that she might have better ideas. That is fine. Leadership is not about being right 100% of the time. It is about being decisive. If she has a better idea, she will tell you. And because you are secure in your frame, you can accept her idea without feeling threatened. But you cannot start from zero. You must start with a proposal. The vacuum of leadership is always filled. If you do not fill it, she will. And when a woman has to lead the man she is with, she naturally begins to resent him. She resents the fact that she has to be the captain of the ship when she signed up to be the first mate. Let's look at the 2 options rule as a safe practice for building this muscle. Many men struggle because they ask open-ended questions like, "Where do you want to go?" This creates a massive cognitive load because the possibilities are endless. Instead, narrow the field. Do the research yourself. Find 2 viable options and present them.
Do you prefer sushi or tacos tonight? This is a low-energy decision for her. She just has to pick A or B. You have done the heavy lifting of filtering the infinite world down to 2 good choices. This shows competence. It shows that you considered her needs, but also took initiative. Another critical practice is the 48-hour rule. If you are planning a date or an event, the plan should be solidified at least 48 hours in advance. Do not text on Friday afternoon asking, "What are we doing tonight?" That screams lack of purpose. It tells her she was an afterthought. By locking in the plan on Wednesday, you allow her to relax for 2 days, knowing that the weekend is handled. That anticipation is a powerful aphrodisiac. A woman who knows her man has a plan feels secure. She feels taken care of, and that feeling of safety is the bedrock of attraction. We must also debunk the myth that modern women want a passive partner. Society tells you that equality means sameness. It tells you that you should split every decision 50-50. This is a recipe for stagnation. In any effective team, roles are defined. If everyone is trying to steer the wheel, the car crashes. If no one is steering, the car stops. Specialized roles create efficiency. In the realm of romance, the masculine role is directional. It is the vector. The feminine role is radiant. It is the energy. You provide the vector, so her energy has a direction to flow. When you fail to lead, you are essentially asking her to be the man. You are asking her to tap into her masculine, logical, planning brain. She can do this. She is likely very good at it in her career, but she does not want to do it with you. With you, she wants to let go. She wants to drop the armor she wears at work. When you force her to plan, you force her to keep the armor on, and you cannot be intimate with armor. You are blocking your own access to her vulnerability by refusing to step up. Consider the example of a dance. In a tango, there is a lead and a follow. If the lead is hesitant, if he asks the follow where she wants to put her foot next, the dance collapses. It becomes awkward and clumsy. The beauty of the dance comes from the confident, clear signals of the lead
and the responsive, fluid movement of the follow. Neither is more important than the other, but they have different jobs. If you stop leading in the middle of the dance, you don't get equality. You get a stumble. You get confusion. Start small. This week, pick one area where you usually defer to her. Maybe it's dinner. Maybe it's the weekend activity. Maybe it's a household repair. Take ownership of it. Do the research. Make the plan. Execute it. Do not ask for permission every step of the way. Inform her of the plan and then do it. I'm handling dinner tonight. Be ready at 7. Watch the reaction. It might be surprise at first, but underneath that, there will be relief. You will see her shoulders drop. You will see her tension dissipate. That is the biological signal of a woman who feels safe. This is the burden of command. It is work. It requires you to be awake, to be aware, and to be proactive. It is easier to be lazy. It is easier to say, I don't know. But easy does not build status. Easy does not build desire. You must be willing to carry the weight of decision-making so that those you care about can move freely. You are the pathfinder. If you stop walking, everyone behind you gets lost. Ultimately, your ability to lead is a reflection of your trust in yourself. If you do not trust your own judgment, why should she? If you are afraid that you will pick the wrong restaurant, you are projecting deep insecurity. Who cares if the restaurant is bad? You will laugh about it, pay the bill, and go somewhere else. The decision itself is less important than the act of deciding. Decisiveness is a character trait.
It signals that you are not afraid of consequences. It signals that you can handle reality. So, the next time you feel the urge to ask, what do you want to do? Catch yourself. That is the voice of the passenger. Silence that voice. Look at the situation, determine the best course of action, and state it clearly. Let's go for a walk. Let's watch this movie. I'm going to fix that shelf on Saturday. Be the vector. Be the force that moves things forward. Lead, and she will follow. Hesitate, and she will lead. And if she has to lead, she will eventually walk away to find someone who can. The choice is yours. Pick a direction and go.